The galaxy knew the ruler of the mountain world as a leader with iron will and sharp judgment. His people lived in tall stone cities shaped by strange winds and glowing minerals. Their bodies were strong, covered in light patterns that marked their strength level. The ruler's marks were bright and wide across his arms and chest, but his daughter carried only faint lines. They looked like soft scratches rather than powerful symbols. Because of that, the people believed she would never survive battle or leadership. She grew up hearing whispers that she was too gentle and too weak. She never pushed back because she felt the same fear others felt for her. Even lifting a training spear tired her arms. She could not match the jumps or speed of other young warriors. Each day she watched others improve while she stood still. Every training cycle ended with her sitting alone while others talked with pride. The ruler loved her, but his love carried worry. Enemies from distant systems grew stronger. Old alliances broke. Other rulers questioned his power and mocked the weakness in his family line. He tried to protect her from harsh eyes, but even he could not hide the truth. The future of the world needed strength, but she had none. He feared she would die in any real battle. One night, after a council meeting, filled with arguments and doubt, the ruler made a surprising choice. A human explorer had recently arrived on their world. Humans were spoken of across the galaxy as stubborn survivors. They were not the biggest or the fastest, but they were known to rise in any situation. Some called them unpredictable. Others called them dangerous, but all agreed that humans learned faster than most species. The human explorer had helped protect a trade route weeks earlier and had earned some respect. The ruler studied him closely and noticed something different in the way the human stood, walked, and observed everything. He saw discipline and potential. The human was not a warrior from birth, but became one through effort. The ruler wondered, if a person like that could do something for someone like his daughter. The next morning, he called the human to the grand hall. Stone pillars surrounded them, glowing from the morning light. The human stood straight, unsure why he had been summoned. The ruler chose his words carefully. He explained his daughter's struggle, the danger facing their people, and the need for someone who understood how to build strength from nothing. Then he gave his decision. He asked the human to take his daughter under his guidance. It was not a common request. Many in the hall gasped in shock. His daughter stood behind him, silent but tense. She did not understand why a stranger should guide her. She felt shame, thinking her father had given her away because she was a burden. She lowered her eyes, waiting for the human's answer. The human paused, then nodded. He said he would guide her. He did not promise miracles. He simply said he believed all beings had hidden strength. Those words surprised her more than the decision itself. No one had ever said she had hidden strength. The ruler thanked him and handed him the ceremonial wristband that marked guardianship. The human placed it on his arm. From that moment on, her training began. The first day was nothing like the drills she knew. The human brought her into an empty field outside the city, far from judging eyes. He looked at her stance and posture. He asked her to breathe slowly, to ground her feet, and to understand her own movement. She had never been taught these basics. Her people valued force over foundation. She realized she had been pushed into battle drills without learning how to stand firm. He taught her to move with purpose, not speed. He made her shift weight from one foot to another, again and again. She felt silly. Then he had her repeat simple steps until they became smooth. Hours passed. She expected him to shout or show impatience, but he never did. When she stumbled, he waited. When she sighed in frustration, he told her that learning was a slow flame. Days turned into weeks. He never allowed her to say she could not do something. When she struggled to lift a training sphere, he broke the task into pieces. First balance, then grip, then lift half the weight, then full weight. Each success was small, but she felt something new. It was pride. It grew slowly, like a small seed breaking through soil. Her people had always judged strength by visible marks on the skin, but the human told her that strength should be measured by progress. The words echoed in her mind each night. Instead of crying from exhaustion, she slept with calm determination. One day at dawn, he woke her early and took her to a cliff overlooking deep clouds. He placed a simple metal band on her wrist. He said it would track her heart rate and breathing. He asked her to run the path 3 times. She hesitated, thinking she would fail halfway. But he simply said, "Run at your pace." She began slowly. Her breath grew heavy, but she kept moving. Each step carried intention. At the final turn, she nearly collapsed, but he cheered for her in a soft and steady voice. For the first time, she finished a full run without falling in the following months. He taught her techniques from human combat. She learned to shift power through her hips. She learned to create momentum from small turns. Her body adapted. Muscles formed. Her eyes sharpened. Even her movement gained rhythm. The faint marks on her skin started glowing brighter. Her people believed these marks glowed only with natural strength, but she learned that effort could change them too. At night, she practiced alone to repeat everything she had learned. She remembered how others once mocked her for failing simple tasks. Now, she completed drills that even skilled warriors struggled with. She did not brag. She only felt grateful. The human and the daughter became a strong training pair. He watched her learn with rare determination. She watched him with respect, seeing how he analyzed every challenge and turned it into a lesson. They shared long training days and quiet meals by the fire. Slowly, trust grew. News spread across the world that the ruler's daughter had changed. Some laughed at the idea. Others dismissed it as rumor. No one believed a human could reshape her. They saw humans as strange and reckless. But one day she returned to the main training camp to face a public test. Her father and many warriors gathered around the arena. An experienced fighter stepped forward to test her. He expected to end it quickly. She stood steady, breathing as the human taught her. When the match began, she dodged with smooth steps. She waited for an opening and used a quick strike to shift her opponent's balance. He stumbled in shock. She pressed forward with precise movements. The crowd fell silent. No one expected her to last 1 minute. She lasted several rounds. Though she did not win the match, she fought with such skill that even the older warriors stared in disbelief. The ruler felt his heart rise with emotion. His daughter finally looked like someone who belonged among the strong. After the test, she bowed politely and left the arena. She found the human waiting for her on a quiet path. He smiled and told her she had done well. She felt happiness she had never known before. Months later, the galaxy faced a crisis. A hostile fleet approached their world. They were known for fast attacks and brutal raids. Their ships darkened the sky. The ruler gathered his warriors for defense. The human joined too, offering help with tactics. He had studied their world's terrain and proposed a plan that used narrow valleys to control enemy movement. When the attack began, the enemy landed in waves. Their soldiers pushed forward with heavy armor. The warriors fought bravely, but struggled to hold the line. The daughter saw fear spreading across the battlefield. She remembered her early days of weakness. Now she stood with a firm heart. The human looked at her and nodded once. She understood. She ran to the front lines with energy that surprised her own people. She reached a squad that was falling back and shouted encouragement. Her voice carried confidence. They followed her lead. She used every technique she had learned. She moved between rocks and narrow paths, striking with precision. She led a group that cut off an enemy flank. The glow on her skin brightened with every clash. Her people watched her and felt hope rise. The human fought beside her, guiding her through signals and quick plans. Their movements fit together like a well-trained team. With her leadership and his strategy, they closed the valley and trapped several enemy units. A battle turned in their favor got across the field. The enemy commander saw their formation fall. They tried to retreat, but the warriors of the mountain world surrounded them. The ruler himself led the final charge. Dust filled the air. When the noise settled, the enemy withdrew to their ships and fled. The entire world erupted in celebration. The ruler gave thanks to all who fought, but saved his deepest gratitude for his daughter and the human. He saw how she stood tall, with a calm and powerful presence. Her marks glowed brighter than ever. She had become everything he wished for, not because he forced her, but because she chose to grow. She approached him and bowed. She said she had found strength she never knew existed. The ruler held her shoulders and told her he always believed she could become great, even when she doubted herself. Later she walked to the cliff where her earliest training took place. The human stood waiting. The sky was quiet. She thanked him for guiding her when others gave up on her. He told her the strength was hers, not his. He only showed her the first step. She looked at her hands and felt pride. She was no longer the faint-marked daughter who hid behind others. She had become a fierce warrior through effort, patience, and